Okay, now we want to cook our leg of lamb in extra virgin olive oil and a couple of garlic cloves, skin on. Oil, extra virgin olive oil. Okay, we add our leg of lamb. Again, I don't like to preheat my oil because I think that preheating the oil, you burn it even before starting cooking that. So basically you evaporate all the vitamins, all the principle, the flavor of the oil will burn. What we are doing now is lamb fricassee with an egg sauce. So basically the lamb will be stir-fried in garlic and extra virgin olive oil. Later we'll be adding a little, half a glass maybe of dry white wine. We let it cook a little bit, and then at the end, out of the flame, we add an egg yolk with a little lemon juice and lots of parsley. This is called agnello fricassee. It's a very ancient dish, coming from the 16th, 17th century. Some people are surprised I'm not using a lot of tomato in my cooking. You know, the concept here, before the mid-17th century, we don't have tomatoes in Italy. I mean, Cristoforo Colombo discovered America in 1492, but before 50, 60 years, we didn't have the tomatoes, right? So in the cooking, the traditional cooking, didn't have the tomatoes, right? As we think now. So most of the dishes were cooked white, adding wine and dry fruits, seeds like pine nuts, nuts, walnuts. And this sauce was basically bechamel and the stock, basically. In the traditional cooking here in Bologna, stock is still very important. I make stock every day, and I use the stock to deglaze my dishes. No matter sauces, pasta dishes, or main course mains. We are not using stock in here because stock is an alternative to wine. Either use white wine or stock. Because stock is a sweet thing. White wine, dry white wine, is a kind of like, you know, savory, sour thing. We don't want to cook it too long. That makes sure to make sure we are not having a too tough lamb, right? In the meanwhile, we let it brown a little bit all around, and then we add the white wine. We mince fresh parsley. Beautiful parsley. When we mince with chopped parsley, we want to make sure it's dry. So when you wash the parsley, make sure you dry it up a little bit, or you let it dry at room temperature. You don't want to do this with wet parsley, and that is good for any kind of herbs. They need to be well dried, fresh but well dried. Side. White wine, dry white wine. This is a local wine, it's called Pignoletto. It's basically the Bologna white everyday wine. We are very fond of our tradition in here, and Sangiovese would be the everyday regular red wine. Pignoletto comes from the hills around Bologna, and it's a typical grape, typical from this area. It's a kind of like midway Chardonnay and Pinot Grigio. I cannot imagine something like that. Now we need to evaporate wine. And in the meanwhile, I'll chop one garlic clove. Pieces like this. Personally, I like the flavor from the garlic, but not the taste. So when I do something with garlic, I always chop it in big pieces like this, just to make sure that someone maybe likes the flavor but not the taste. You can see the garlic in your dish and you can't avoid eating that. Correct? It's just a way for being polite at the table, taking care of the clients or the friends you're inviting, right? So we're using garlic, but it looks like, but we don't have to eat it. Beautiful, man. You see the skin. Beautiful. Oh. Pay attention with salt. When you cook something in wine, the wine evaporating, concentrating, it's sour and salted. So pay attention with salt. I always add salt at the end when of my preparation, just at the very last end, at the very end. So you want to taste it before adding salt, because wine, it gets salted a little bit. When we cook, we watch, we smell, we taste, but we listen to it. You can tell by the sound that it's almost evaporated, right? It's starting frying. The difference of the sound between simmering, globally, or frying. This way, if you're using all your senses, you can do different things at the same time. You lower down the temperature. Now, let me see. Yeah. We're almost there. Now we can add salt. And black pepper. We lower down the temperature, the minimum, and we squeeze this. Those are 2 egg yolks. We squeeze half lemon in the yolks. Lamb fricassee. Yes. Now, out of the flame. With a little pepper in here. Lots of pepper, actually. This is not a little pepper. I love black pepper. This is a double bottom pan because of the induction burner, so make sure that you lower down the temperature a little bit. Otherwise, you would scramble the egg, and we don't want to scramble the egg. So we add the egg yolk, and the temperature of 70-80 degrees. Good. Now we add a little garlic and the parsley. Quickly flake it. More pepper to decorate, and maybe a few drizzle drops of extra virgin olive oil, just to make sure that people understand how we cook, what we cooked it with, right? Done. Agnello in fricassee, lamb fricassee.